welcome to an all-new Eye of the Tiger. I'm Joseph Bianchini. As we reported on last Friday's broadcast, most AP tests will be taken online. The first AP test will be taken on Tuesday, May 18th. From that point on, there will be tests every school day until Friday, March 28th. Recently, junior Cameron Tucker received the title of RHS's Girls' Day delegate. Tucker's alternates will be Rebecca Templeton and Amani Black. And now we go over to Natalie Russell for sports.
Good morning and welcome to this Tuesday's edition of EOTSN. I'm Natalie Russell. With the CIF allowing baseball to begin their season, the team is now able to start practicing together. We go to Hunter Hatch with more.
With baseball returning, senior Braden DeToli believes the Tigers are ready as they have been practicing in preparation for a sudden start.
Well, we kind of figured baseball was going to happen this year just because we're only in the red tier. We had like a pretty good chance of playing anyways. And with like COVID going down or like the numbers going down, we had a better chance of playing. So we were already like practicing during our fourth period class and we were, hoping it was going to play. But the news of it officially starting is just really exciting, especially with it starting yesterday.
DeToli also expects the COVID rules not to affect the team too much as they are naturally socially distant while on the field and won't have to change that part of their game.
So this year we just have to keep our masks on obviously and just try to stay like within 6 feet, which is pretty easy for baseball because we're not super close as much of the time. Certain things you got to be kind of close, but other than that, you could be spread out most of the time. So basically, the only difference is just we have to be more spread out. It's not changing much else, though.
Junior Jet Ropke says he'll do whatever it takes and just wants a season.
I think if I'll do whatever rule it takes as long as we play. That's no big deal. As long as we can get a season in, I'll be happy.
In other sports news, tryouts for JV softball will be held on March 8th and 9th at 1:30. Any freshmen or sophomores interested in playing boys basketball should contact Coach Ritter in room 915 or through email. And that's all in your home for Roseville High School sports, top plays, breakdowns, and more. Eye of the Tiger Sports Network, EOTSN. And now we go over to entertainment.
Welcome to this Tuesday's entertainment news. I'm Isabella Foley. On Friday, March 5th, Cinemark is reopening their theaters for in-theater movie viewing once again. We'll be opening up all over the country and in California. However, they've also recently closed 3 major locations across the country, with more likely to follow if their reopening isn't successful. COVID-19 has made it extremely hard for theaters to make money with the shutting down of theaters due to health hazards. And with them reopening, it could possibly become an issue if safety guidelines aren't followed, causing them to just shut down again. Over the last year, theaters have gone back and forth with opening and closing again because of the continued spread of COVID-19, so whether they will be open for good is probably unlikely. It'll be interesting to see how the reopening goes and whether it'll garner the business that Cinemark is hoping for and needs. People have gotten so accustomed to watching movies at home that some of them might like it better that way, but I still think there will be plenty of people lining up to see movies in theaters once again. And now we go back to news.
Thanks, Isabella. An RHS alumnus wrote and published a memoir. We go to Colin Wright with more.
Writing a memoir on its own isn't an easy task, but finishing someone else's can prove to be just as challenging. Stephen Adcock, alumni of Roseville High School class of 2006, has recently worked with 3L Publishing to get his late grandmother, Dorothy Sis Miller's memoir published. The memoir captured her experiences growing up in Roseville and going to Roseville High School in the early 50s.
She had written a series of stories and vignettes on growing up as a kid in Roseville.
The memoir was originally made through Dorothy Miller's perspective, but after her unfortunate passing, the memoir was passed down to Stephen to finish.
When she passed away, I inherited it, so the stories passed to me from her computer. So I took it upon myself to edit it, compile it, round off some details, and get it published.
Stephen explains that though he and his grandmother lived generations away from each other, it was refreshing to see how similar yet very different growing up in Roseville was for the two of them, and how his story is an expansion of hers.
I feel like it did really reinforce how special my childhood was, because it was almost an analog of hers. It was kind of cool.
The book itself caught the attention of the Roseville Historical Society, and Stephen's next plans are to make sure that not only the Roseville High School Library receives copies of the book, but that possibly the Roseville Public Library could have copies of the book as well.
As soon as possible, you guys over at the high school and over at the public library will be able to check out your own copy if you want it and see what I'm talking about. So thankfully that's all going to be available as soon as possible.
It is not clear when the book will hit the shelves of RHS or Roseville Public Libraries. And that's it today on Eye of the Tiger. And remember, we're always on at eyethetigernews.com. See you next time.